Jesus and the Quran, Part 1. Introduction. What are the beliefs of a Muslim in relation to Prophet Jesus? This symbol means, may God exalt his mention. Does a Muslim actually revere and respect him? Today, the media is responsible for spreading a negative image about Islam, and due to that, Islam would appear to be a religion of hate and intolerance to the average person. In reality, anyone who has met a practicing Muslim will know that they are a very peaceful and tolerant people. The belief system of Islam clearly indicates that it is a religion of tolerance. A key belief a Muslim adheres to is a belief in all of the prophets and messengers sent by God. Accounts of each of them are detailed in the Quran and in prophetic traditions. Before delving into the details of the life story of Jesus, I believe it is important that this topic be preceded by a brief introduction to the purpose behind the creation of humankind and the important role spiritual guidance plays in our lives. In general, spiritual guidance is essential in keeping us balanced in all aspects of our lives. The Quran is the divine scripture of God revealed to Prophet Muhammad, Ebook, who was the last of all prophets and messengers. Due to this fact, certain intrinsic qualities are found in Islam. It is an all-encompassing faith, applicable to people of all times and places. It is applicable to all humankind's problems. Islam is not simply a religion, rather, it is a complete way of life. Another intrinsic quality of Islam is that it is a religion of common sense and is very logical. Take into consideration some of the following examples of Islamic beliefs to clarify this point. As Muslims, we believe that God is the creator of all and he has no partner. The messenger of Islam, Muhammad, mentioned the stages of creation, as narrated by his companion, Imran bin Hussein. He said, people came from Yemen and they said, O Messenger of Allah, we have come to you to learn the deen. In Arabic, the term deen commonly refers to a way of life, which is both private and public. It is an inclusive term meaning acts of worship, political practice, and a detailed code of conduct, including hygiene or etiquette matters, so inform us of the first thing created. He said, Allah was always there and nothing was with him. His throne was above water and all things that would come to pass were recorded, and then the heavens and the earth were created. God was always there, unlike his creation, who have a sure beginning. God, the Exalted, says, he is the first and the last, the Ascendant, and the one who has infinite knowledge, and he is, of all things, knowing. Quran 57:3. God was the first. Nothing was before him. He brought all creation into existence. He is unlike any of his creation. There are no similarities between him and us. God, the Exalted, says, there is nothing like unto him, and he is the hearing, the seeing. Quran 42:11. God has clarified to us that it is impossible for anyone to describe him, and that no one can encompass his greatness. This alone puts us in awe of God, and affirms our belief in his uniqueness and our need to worship him alone. God, the Exalted, says, Allah knows what is, presently, before them and what will be after them, but they do not encompass it in knowledge. Quran 20:110. Everything besides God is a created being, brought into existence by God himself. He brought forth these creations into existence from mere nothingness. God, the Exalted, says, that is Allah, your God, creator of all things, there is no deity except him, so how are you deluded? Quran 40:62. One of the key beliefs a Muslim adheres to is that Allah creates whatever he wills and does as he pleases. Nothing can withstand the decrees of God. God, the Almighty, says, and your Rabb, creates what he wills and chooses, not for them was the choice. Exalted is Allah and high above what they associate with him. Quran 28:68. Rabb, there is no proper equivalent for Rabb in the English language. It means the creator, the fashioner, the provider, the one upon whom all creatures depend for their means of subsistence, and the one who gives life and causes death. Allah does not create without purpose, neither would he leave his creation without guidance. No creature has been created in this universe except that behind its creation is a divine wisdom and purpose. At times we know this wisdom, and at times we do not. Modern science in many situations has been successful in deciphering the wisdom behind certain things that may seem to have no purpose. The first of creation. The Quran, which is the word of God, clarifies to us that this world came into existence from near nothingness. God, the Exalted, says, originator of the heavens and the earth, when he decrees a matter, he only says to it, be, and it is. Quran 2:117. The messenger of God clarified to us that the first thing created was water. Water is found in all creation. Allah created this with his power. In the prophetic tradition it states, everything is created from water. Ibn Hibban. The creation of the heavens and the earth. Allah informs us in the Quran that he created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. God was not exhausted nor did he face any difficulty in creating this. He, the Exalted, says, and we did certainly create the heavens and earth and what is between them in 6 days, and there touched us no weariness. Quran 50:38. God could easily have created all of this within a mere moment. God, the Exalted, says, and to Allah belongs the unseen aspects of the heavens and the earth. And the command for the hour is not but as a glance of the eye or even nearer. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent. Quran 16:77. If God could have created this in the flicker of an eye, why didn't he? Imam Ibn al-Jawzi, may God have mercy on him, gave insight into this issue. He said, 1. God wanted to show his infinite wisdom behind creation. Creating all existence quickly would be evident of his power, whereas creation in a slow manner would be evident of his wisdom. 2. God wanted to show his slaves the importance of being patient. Another scholar, Al-Qurtubi, mentioned another reason in relation to this. He said, God created the heavens and earth in 6 days to show that everything has a set term in life. God, the Exalted, says, say, do you indeed disbelieve in he who created the earth in 2 days and attribute to him equals? That is the Lord of the worlds. And he placed on the earth firmly set mountains over its surface. And he blessed it and determined therein its creatures, sustenance in 4 days without distinction, for the information of those who ask. Then he directed himself to the heaven while it was smoke and said to it into the earth, come, into being, willingly or by compulsion. They said, we have come willingly. And he completed them as 7 heavens within 2 days and inspired in each heaven its command. And we adorned the nearest heaven with lamps in his protection. That is the determination of the Exalted in might, the knowing. Quran 41:9-12. The wisdom behind the creation of man. Now that we have spoken on the creation of the earth, a few important questions arise. What is the significance of the creation of man? What is the goal behind this creation? God clarifies this in his words. And I did not create the jinn and mankind except to worship me. I do not want from them any provision, nor do I want them to feed me. Indeed, it is Allah who is the continual provider, the firm possessor of strength. Quran 51:56-8. This life is not as the atheists assert, without resurrection, accountability or requital. It is not everlasting, it is only a temporary stage. God, the Exalted, says, and they say, there is not but our worldly life, we die and live, and nothing destroys us except time. And they have of that no knowledge, they are only assuming. Quran 45:24. How difficult would it be for a person to live his life with no purpose? As any individual is in need of satisfying natural, human desires, they are in need of spiritual satisfaction as well. This cannot be achieved except if one educates himself about God. Knowledge of God cannot be gathered solely from one's mind or surroundings, one must turn to divine scripture. It is important that one understands that the atheistic approach to life is not the result of today's technological advancements. It is a very old belief upheld from time immemorial. It has been handed down throughout the ages by those who have no belief. God, the Exalted, says, and we sent among them a messenger from themselves, saying, worship Allah, you have no deity other than him. Then will you not fear him? And the eminent among his people who disbelieved and denied the meeting of the hereafter while we had given them luxury in the worldly life said, this is not but a man like yourselves. He eats of that from which you eat and drinks of what you drink. And if you should obey a man like yourselves, indeed, you would then be losers. Does he promise you that when you have died and become dust and bones that you will be brought forth, once more? Far-fetched indeed is what you are promised. Life is not but our worldly life, we die and live, but we will not be resurrected. Quran 23:32-7. The need for messengers. Through historical evidence, we know that all of humankind began as one nation, living in one area. But as our numbers increased, we began spreading into different areas. God, the Exalted, says. And mankind was not but one community, united in religion, but, then, they differed. And if not for a word that proceeded from your Rabb, it would have been judged between them, immediately, concerning that over which they differ. Quran 10:19. The result of moving to different regions of the world led to the formation of traditions and languages that differentiate us from one another today. As creation spread out, God sent to each group of people a prophet to remind them of the message of the belief in the oneness of God. Indeed, God is merciful. He would never punish a people, except after sending a prophet to clarify the message to them. The prophets and messengers warned their people from going astray. No nation of the past was ever left without a warner. God, the Exalted, says. Indeed, we have sent you with the truth as a bringer of good tidings and a warner. And there was no nation but that there had passed within it a warner. Quran 35:24. Allah would send prophets and messengers to bring people back to the message of Tawheed, i.e. the belief in the oneness of God. God, the Exalted, says. And we certainly sent into every nation a messenger, saying, worship Allah and avoid taghut. The Arabic word taghut refers to idolatry, associating partners with God. This can be anything worshipped other than the one true God, Allah, and among them were those whom Allah guided, and among them were those upon whom error was, deservedly, decreed. So proceed through the earth and observe how was the end of the deniers. Quran 16:36. Allah sent these prophets and messengers so that no nation would have any plea against what God ordains on them in the hereafter. God, the Exalted, says. We sent messengers as bringers of good tidings and warners so that mankind will have no argument against Allah after the messengers. And ever is Allah exalted in might and wise. Quran 4:165. All prophets and messengers were human beings. They did not hold any godlike characteristics or superhuman abilities. God, the Exalted, says. And we did not send before you, O Muhammad, any of the messengers except that they ate food and walked in the markets. And we have made some of you, people, as trial for others, will you have patience? And ever is your Lord, seeing. Quran 25:20. Allah clarifies this to ensure that no one would have a doubt about their nature. God, the Almighty, says. And we have already sent messengers before you and assigned to them wives and descendants. And it was not for a messenger to come with a sign except by permission of Allah. For every term is a decree. Quran 13:38. The prophets and messengers had no power to control the affairs of the universe. They had no power over their own protection. God, the Exalted, says, regarding the prophets and messengers. Say, I hold not for myself the power of benefit or harm, except what Allah has willed. And if I knew the unseen, I could have acquired much wealth, and no harm would have touched me. I am not except a warner and a bringer of good tidings to a people who believe. Quran 7:188. The great prophets of God. All prophets and messengers were sent with one message. God says. Or have they taken gods besides him? Say, O Muhammad, to them, produce your proof. This, Quran, is the message for those with me and the message of those before me. But most of them do not know the truth, so they are turning away. And we sent not before you any messenger except that we revealed to him that there is no deity except me, so worship me. Quran 21:24-5. The belief in the oneness of God was the central message delivered by all prophets and messengers to their respective peoples. God, the Exalted, says. He has ordained for you of religion what he enjoined upon Noah and that which we have revealed to you, O Muhammad. And what we enjoined upon Abraham and Moses and Jesus, to establish the religion and not be divided therein. Difficult for those who associate others with Allah is that to which you invite them. Allah chooses for himself whom he wills and guides to himself whoever turns back to him. Quran 42:13. People's need for prophets and messengers. As we mentioned previously, people are in need of prophets and messengers as they are in need of food and drink to sustain themselves. The scholar Ibn al-Qayyim, may God have mercy on him, said, "There is no path to happiness and success except through what the messengers have given us. One would only be able to discern between good and bad through what the messengers have conveyed us, in terms of revelation, from God. People of guidance are distinguished by their obedience to the message. The necessity of knowing the message is a more pressing need, for man, than finding food and beverages. The example of the importance of guidance to mankind is similar to the importance of water to a whale. If taken out of water, it would die. Similarly, no one will truly realize the explicit need of spiritual guidance except one who has a living heart. The wisdom of God in choosing his prophets and messengers. The message and prophethood is a divine gift, which God gives to whomever he pleases. It is not given to one on account of their lineage, authority, or position in society. God, the Exalted, says, Allah chooses from the angels messengers and from the people. Indeed, Allah is hearing and seeing, Quran 22:75. No one should show any jealousy towards Prophet Muhammad for the message he was given. Says, or do they envy people for what Allah has given them of his bounty? But we had already given the family of Abraham the scripture and wisdom and conferred upon them a great kingdom. Quran 4:54. The prophets of God differ in terms of rank and superiority. They are not equal in terms of merit. God, the Exalted, says, those messengers, some of them we caused to exceed others. Among them were those to whom Allah spoke, and he raised some of them in degree. And we gave Jesus, the son of Mary, clear proofs, and we supported him with a pure spirit. If Allah had willed, those generations succeeding them would not have fought each other after the clear proofs had come to them. But they differed, and some of them believed and some of them disbelieved. And if Allah had willed, they would not have fought each other, but Allah does what he intends. Quran 2:253. The creation of Adam, the father of humankind. Allah has ordained that the ones chosen by him will inhabit earth. They would work the lands and build thereon. They would be tested in the material realm, so it would be established who is obedient and pious and who is ignoble. God, the Exalted, says, and mention, O Muhammad, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed, I will make upon the earth a successive authority. They said, will you place upon it one who causes corruption therein and sheds blood, while we declare your praise and sanctify you? Allah said, indeed, I know that which you do not know. Quran 2:30. The authority God first placed on earth was Prophet Adam, the father of humankind. God created Adam on a Friday, as is mentioned in the prophetic tradition. The best day on which the sun has risen is Friday. In it God created Adam, and on it he was admitted into heaven and on it he was expelled from it, and the final hour will be established on a Friday. Muslim. For this reason, God chose Friday as the weekly holiday for the Muslims. Due to the lofty status Adam held, Allah ordered the angels to bow down to him out of respect and honor. All the angels immediately did this. Satan, who was in the company of the angels, refused to bow down to him. Arrogance and pride prevented him from obeying the command of God. God, the Exalted, says about this. So mention, when your Lord said to the angels, indeed, I am going to create a human being from clay. So when I have proportioned him and breathed into him of my created soul, then fall down to him in prostration. So the angels prostrated, all of them entirely. Except Iblis, he was arrogant and became among the disbelievers. Allah said, O Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating to that which I created with my hands? Were you arrogant, then, or were you, already, among the haughty? He said, I am better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. Allah said, then get out of paradise, for indeed, you are expelled. And indeed, upon you is my curse until the day of recompense. He said, my Lord, then reprieve me until the day they are resurrected. Allah said, so indeed, you are of those reprieved until the day of the time well known. Iblis said, by your might, I will surely mislead them all except, among them, your chosen servants. Allah said, the truth is my oath, and the truth I say that, I will surely fill hell with you and those of them that follow you altogether. Quran 38:71-85. God, through his wisdom, ordained that Adam and his offspring would inhabit the earth. God then created Eve, the wife of Adam,